Hey y'all, Chris Bassett here, and I'm going to go over a solo strategy for the Hunter on K1 Logistics Legend Lost Sector to get your exotic chest armor. Let's get into it. So the Lost Sector is actually on the moon in the upper left-hand corner. You have to complete the Lost Sector at least once to gain access to the legendary version of this. And then once you do complete it, it'll show up on your map as a waypoint, so you can just set your waypoint and then take your sparrow over there. So since the burn modifier is Void, we'll be using the Nightstalker with Tether. Void 3.0 upgraded, so the Mobius Quiver actually does quite a bit of damage, and with the right setup can be the most damaging super in the game. I like to use Marksman's Dodge, that way you can reload your weapon and go invisible. And then the Vortex Grenade is going to be your best damaging grenade. Being able to go invisible is going to give you that survivability. Stylish Executioner allows you to go invisible after defeating a weakened enemy. Trapper's Ambush allows you to go invisible with your smoke bomb. And then you also have Vanishing Step, which allows you to dodge and then turn invisible. The aspects I like to run is Echo of Remnants, which doubles your grenade time, Echo of Undermining, which allow your grenades to weaken the enemy, Echo of Persistence, which allows that invisibility to last even longer, and then Echo of Obscurity, where finishers allow you to become invisible. I like the Wormhusk Crown because when you dodge, you gain a little bit of health and shields. I'm also running Rocket Launcher Finder because I'm running a rocket launcher. The champions in this Lost Sector are Anti-Barrier and Overload. So you're best running an auto rifle and a scout rifle in conjunction with those barrier mods. I also like going double utility kickstart on my class item, that way I get my dodge back that much faster. Since it is Void Burn, I'm going with a Royal Entry rocket launcher. The hard light allows me to shoot different shields. So you're going to encounter Shanks with solar shields and captains with arc shields. There are only 2 captains with arc shields, so I definitely focus on solar for the Shanks and then Void Burn. So maybe like a scout rifle or an auto rifle with a solar element if you don't have hard light. So let's go ahead and load up the Lost Sector, and then I'll keep talking about other loadouts that can work. So in this first section, you're just looking to deal with the ads mostly, clear out the ads. There's a captain over to the right with an arc shield, and then there's the Overload Barrier Champion right there. So on this Legend Lost Sector, this season's artifact gives you basically 3 ways to deal with champions. You have scout rifles, auto rifles, and bows. So like I said before, if you had to choose, I'd stick with just solar and void. While the captains can be more difficult, you can still kill them. If you don't have an arc weapon, just throw a grenade at them and then keep shooting them with your primary. If you have Skyburner's Oath, that can be a good option as a solar scout rifle. And then Telesto in your special spot is pretty broken. Of course, you probably want to pair that with maybe a solar machine gun. So the Servitor Champion shields the enemies around it, making them invulnerable. So your best bet is to lay in some pretty heavy damage to the Servitor. I'm going to throw this Void Rocket at his face, and then quickly switch to my Scout Rifle to finish him off before he regenerates. So if their shield regenerates, it'll also regenerate the rest of their health. You can hear like an audible cue when you break the shield, and then it'll stun them. That's one of the reasons why an auto-loading rocket launcher is so good. Go ahead and put Major Spec on there to do extra damage to the champions. So up the stairs, there's a few more ads, and then you'll run into the solar shielded Shanks. The Shanks usually come in groups, so if you don't have something to deal with the solar shields, they can be a real pain. So clear them out, and in the next encounter, you're going to have a Servitor and a Captain. The Captain's on the back left, so deal with him last. The Servitor's up front, so you'll want to focus him down because he's making other enemies invulnerable. There are Exploder Shanks that come up, so feel free to fall back to safety if they're pushing up too quick. Take your time, you've got 15 minutes to complete the encounter. One reason I like the dodge coupled with Invis is it's kind of like a get out of jail free card. You have a problem, you just dodge out of the way, you're invisible, and then you get de-aggroed. You can also use your invisibility preemptively to kind of scout the area, so go invisible and then kind of see your surroundings and where the enemies are at. It allows you to form a plan of attack and less likely for any surprises to happen. So same as before for this servitor, just shoot him with a rocket and then finish him with a scout rifle. If his barrier comes back, he'll replenish to full health, so don't let that happen. If you want to try to double rocket him, a clown cartridge will allow your rocket launchers to hold 2 rockets. You can also dodge to reload in between rockets, or if you have auto-loading holster, shoot a rocket, put it away, and then while you're shooting your primary, it'll reload itself, so that's super handy. Then the overload captain is kind of a pain. He teleports around, but just throw some auto rifle bullets in his face and he'll eventually be stunned. You can finish him off with a rocket. If you're not using rocket launchers, linear fusion rifles can also be a good alternative. They do high burst damage, and it's usually pretty easy to target the opponent's weak spot, whether it's their head or their eye or whatever. The vortex grenade really helps out too. It not only does it weaken the enemies with what we have set up, but it also does a ton of damage. I'm using the seasonal artifact to benefit from volatile rounds. Your void weapons get volatile rounds which cause enemies to explode. It's really fun to play with, especially on a high fire weapon like a submachine gun or an auto rifle. And then in conjunction with void wells, it gives me a damage boost. So they all synergize together and it's a lot of fun this season. You can pick up those mods daily from the tower. Ada 1 sells them and they're on a rotation. So here's the final room. There is a little bit of a strategy to help burn down the boss real quick. You want to take out the servitor first. He's down, kind of hiding underneath the boxes in front of you. So just as before, you'll rocket him and then finish him off with the scout rifle. Ads can be pretty annoying when they start piling in. So make sure you're keeping the area clean of ads too. You can always dodge invisible when you get into trouble. So basically you're waiting for waves of ads to come out to kill. There'll be some solar shanks over there to the left that you'll want to watch out for. You'll want to kill those. And then some dregs to the right. There's Nightmare Shank and Nightmare Dreg. So you'll want to take out the shield and then use a rocket to kill those. When you do clear out enough ads, the boss will finally drop his shield and he'll start to shoot you. And when he does, then you know you can damage him because his shield will be down. Also, don't stand out in the open too much. Make sure that you're taking cover behind boxes, pieces of metal wall, that little barricade, whatever you can get behind. So yeah, I'd definitely say an auto rifle as a primary would be a good choice. A solar scout rifle in your secondary, and then a void rocket launcher. It's probably the ideal setup, to get through this lost sector pretty quick. Okay, and here after we clear this wave of ads, the boss will start shooting me, so then I know I can damage him. There's a pretty cheeky spot where you can get on top of a box, then you can burn down the boss with your super. So when you do enough damage to the boss, he teleports around the arena, and I've actually missed a couple tethers because I didn't realize this was where he teleported to the first time. So just hop up here, you're fairly safe, kill the ads with a rocket, or you can just shoot him with your gun, and then you can see the boss. So do some damage to him, make him teleport, and he'll teleport right next to you. And then I missed my rocket because I can't aim and jump at the same time. I was just kind of waiting for my health to recover there, and then so I'll put some damage on him, and then once he teleports in here with me, then I'll take him down with a couple tethers. If you have the exotic leg armor Orpheus rig, it'll actually allow you to do a third shot. You can do some of the best damage in the game with that. And there you go, pretty easy, pretty simple. Now we just need to clean up the rest of the ads and then go open the chest. So another reason I like hard light is because it'll switch that back to void, and then I can gain the benefit of void burn with my primary weapon. But you really are going to have the easiest time depending on your light level. So if you're struggling with this lost sector, try to level up a little bit. If you're within 10 levels, so like 1540, it's still doable. But you start pushing any more than that, and it'll be really difficult to get this done. And then I'm going to go ahead and open the chest, and I get an exotic body armor, which is the benefit to doing these lost sectors solo. Hey, check out this other video right here. There's links in the description to save money on electronics, so check that out. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. If this was helpful, hit the like button. Thanks.